Welcome to this Library and Academic Skills introduction on how to use and access Westlaw. There are a few different ways that you can access the database. Firstly, you can use the eResources A to Z list on the library homepage, navigate to the appropriate letter on the alphabet, and access Westlaw from here. Alternatively, using the Finding Resources page, you can follow the same instructions. There is also the option to access it via your subject guide. I've chosen Law from the drop-down menu and press Go. Access the page called Databases, Journals and Articles. This will show you a list of all of the databases and journals that are subscribed to specifically for law students. And you can access Westlaw from the list here. You should be signed into Westlaw automatically, and on this occasion I have been. However, if you are not signed in automatically, log in by pressing the Sign In button on the top right corner, then choose Access through an academic institution. Search for Staffordshire University and press Login. Westlaw and Practical Law are related systems, which means you can use the arrow next to the Westlaw logo in the top left corner to toggle between them. You can also use the Westlaw logo to navigate back to the home page from any page that you use. The best way to navigate around Westlaw is using the search bar. The eye icon at the end of the search bar will demonstrate the search terms and connectors that you can use in order to make your search more efficient. It's important to pay attention to these terms as they will be a great help in garnering worthwhile research results. Let's carry out an example search. I'm using the quotation marks around witness statements to turn this into a phrase so that the words witness and statement need to appear next to each other in my results. I'm using the /p connector in order to look for the next keyword in the same paragraph as my first result. And I'm also going to search for withdraw, but I'm going to use the exclamation mark search term, as this will search for withdraw, withdrew and withdrawal, as well as any other terms that I've not thought of all at the same time. We can use the filters on the left-hand side to narrow our results further. So, for example, I could select cases here and press apply in order to see results only pertaining to cases. We can also change the detail level menu for Westlaw and Practical Law. At the moment, I'm using the most detail. This option is recommended by Westlaw as it shows us more information about each source without having to click into them. However, you can change it to more or less detail. This is also a sticky option, which means that every time you use Westlaw, it will remember the setting that you used last. On the filters menu, you can see subject tags that are associated with my search results. Subject tags are only added for significant use, so you can be assured that when you choose these options, they will feature quite strongly in the result that you've chosen. Additionally, it's also important to note that your search automatically looks for singles and plurals. So my search at the moment is looking for witness statements, but it is also looking for witness statement. However, different suffixes will need the exclamation mark connector in order to garner different results. Let's return to the home page and look at the other options available to us. The history folder shows my recent searches so that I can retrace steps and pick up previous searches, and my recent documents, which are files that I've clicked into. You're able to make folders in Westlaw so that you can organise your research. So, for example, you may wish to make a folder per assignment, but you can also make folders within folders on Westlaw, which will be particularly helpful for dissertation writing or other long-term projects. You can save resources to come back to look at later, and you can also set up alerts to be notified of developments in an area of research. Again, this is potentially relevant for when it comes to writing a dissertation. We also have the option, instead of using a search, to browse by topic and choose a topic from this menu to skip ahead to that particular area of research. So, for example, when I select family, I'm presented with a second search bar that allows me to search family law in particular. Underneath the family law section, I'll also be pointed to relevant legislation and books that I may want to look at, a calendar showing key dates in family law that are upcoming, and latest developments, which is an RSS feed of legal news that may be relevant to us. We're now going to return to my previous search. To access a resource, click on the title. An additional feature of Westlaw is that we are able to make annotations. Do this by highlighting the relevant section of text, and we can add notes to this, highlight it, copy the information with references in order to use it in our work, or we can save it to our folder. All of these features will help make your researching journey a lot easier. Annotations can also be shared by email. There are further options on the right-hand side. We can email this document to somebody else, which will be particularly helpful for group work. We can print or download the resource, but bear in mind that this may be restricted by copyright law. We can save to a folder, add annotations, hide annotations, provide a link to this resource, which again for group work will be very useful. Expand the view in order to make this resource larger on our screen. You can use the outline builder, which is a tool to help construct legal documents, and we can create an alert for similar items. You'll also see that there is an option to find similar cases. We're asked to make decisions about what aspects of the case we're interested in. However, I'm just going to leave this blank and run the search. And we'll be presented with similar cases in our results here. Let's return to the home page. This time we're going to carry out a legislation search. This is going to automatically limit my search results to be for legislation only. You'll see that Westlaw will make suggestions of resources that we might want to skip ahead to. You can decide whether or not to use these, and on this occasion I'm not going to, and I'm just going to run my search. The top result will be the one that is most relevant. And you'll notice that my search terms have been coloured in to show the relevance to my previous search. If we look at the legislation, a tick will show which sections are still in force, whereas a stop sign will show that this section has been repealed. On the left-hand side, we'll see information such as the Act details, telling us about any changes that are proposed and when the law commenced. Selecting a section of the legislation will allow us to have the option to compare versions. We can look at earlier versions or later versions to the section that we're looking at. So we can look at the law today, prospective law, draft law, or a specific date range. Depending on the legislation, you can also compare between UK deviations from retained EU law. Let's go back to the home page. This time, we're going to have a search for a case. On the cases search, be wary of using the free text search versus the subject terms. For example, a free text search for the word trust will be looking for all uses of the word trust, regardless of the context. So, for example, did person A trust person B? Whereas searching the subject word trust will be looking for that particular keyword in a legal context. Cases can also be filtered to show significant cases only by using the More Options menu. You'll see guidance of what is defined as a significant case or a guidance case using the question mark next to these options. Otherwise, the result from a cases search is very similar to the other searches that we've seen so far. From the home page, we are able to ask questions on the main search bar. Please note that this option is only available on the home page search bar and is not available in the topic search bars. I'm going to search for a question. Westlaw will show me the top 5 questions that are relevant based on the information I've given. I need to pick one of these options to see the answer to my question. I'll get a basic answer at the top of my page with information of where this data has come from, and I'll get results similar to the search that I've conducted below. A final feature of Westlaw that may be useful to you is the precedent map, which is available when you search for cases. The precedent map appears on the left-hand menu. This will show us information about the cases that were cited in the case that I've chosen, as well as cases that have cited the case that I've chosen. We can make this larger to see in more detail. The black line shows us where our case sits, and the black dot is our case. You can see how the information and how cases have been used in which courts, and you can click on each court to expand further. We can also change our filter to be only significant cases. and we can click on the coloured dots to show what these cases are. Thank you for watching this video. If you need any further help with using any library resources or any academic skills, please get in touch with the Library and Academic Skills team on academicskills@staffs.ac.uk.